Hey guys, good morning. Quick video blog. I know it's been a very long time since I last gave my last video blog because I've been very busy expanding business. We hired 5 new people. Business is going great. I recently moved into a house on the water, beautiful views. It's amazing, man. I wake up every single day and I feel like I'm in a paradise. But I earned this position, and I love it. I'm doing very well, and I'm happy. I couldn't be happier. But today I wanted to touch on something that I think everybody knows. It's one of those things that everybody knows, but is often overlooked. And these things typically shape your life without you knowing it, but it's so subtle that people overlook it so much. Let's start with this. This statement: your life is largely shaped by the role models that you have and by the people that you surround yourself with. Now, that may seem like the social climber's mantra, but it's really not if you look at it in a deeper sense. The role models that you have are basically templates by which you organize your life on. Like, I'll be honest in telling you some of my role models. My role models include Steve Wynn of Wynn Resorts, Donald Trump, Mark Donegan, obviously my father, partially, not everything about my father, but, I got his work ethic. I have my partner and CEO. There's so many people that I look up to. Dr. Ben Carson I see as a role model. And the people that I surround myself with are, for the most part, they're not only good people, but they're hardworking people and ambitious people, looking to rise in life, looking to make themselves more successful. And my experience is that what this does when you surround yourself with these kinds of people and you have these kinds of role models is that subconsciously, without even you trying, you start designing your life around the principles that they have as well. You start doing things a certain way. You start approaching life with a certain zest that seems to come natural to you, but it's actually coming from the fact that you're allowing your perception to be influenced by the role models that you've chosen. And, like, for example, I recently read one of Donald Trump's books because he's one of the people that I look up to. Even though he was born into very wealthy circumstances, I was born into pretty good circumstances as well, but he still, what you can absorb from Donald Trump is the amount of intricacy and the amount of effort and beauty and attention to detail that he puts into his projects. It's like, if you have the right role models and the right people around you, unless you are just a complete dunce, you're probably going to be headed in the right direction. Unless you're just a complete total fool, you're going to be headed in the right direction. And I say this because there's a lot of people out there that have good role models morally, but they don't have good role models, prosperity-wise or economically. And it's like, if your goal is to move up economically, you need to adopt role models that have the economic success that you want to attain. I'm not saying that morals don't matter. They absolutely do. I'm just saying that you need to adjust your role models, or you need to adjust your circle for what you want to achieve in life. That's what I'm saying. Another thing is that, besides that, your subconscious is responsible for like 95% of your actions. It's really responsible for the bulk of your actions. It's not your conscious thought. Conscious thought is a very small percentage of our day. That's what I believe. Honestly, and really think about it. Like, in the past week, have you done everything be honest with yourself, have you done everything consciously? Or have most of the things that you've done been on autopilot? The answer for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm honest with myself, and the answer for me is that most of the things I do are on autopilot. They're ingrained in me through, you know, my upbringing, through my influences, through who I have around me, through my circumstances, through the reality I experience. They're ingrained in me. The responses and the actions that you give to the universe around you are kind of like ingrained in you. So at some point in the day, your conscious thought is going to be turned off. You're going to stop, you know, wasting all that energy, and your body's going to go into autopilot, and you're going to start exhibiting behaviors and habits that you usually do. You know, so which makes most of us are creatures of habits. That's why we're so predictable. Not just because of our organized schedules, but because usually people have like a set of characteristics and personalities that are predictable. And the key to really changing your life, or really changing life to go in the direction that you want to go in, is by influencing, or I guess hacking. I use the word hacking because it sounds so much more edgy and so much more cooler, and you guys will probably pay attention more if I say the word hacking. You know, but it's basically by hacking, or by, you know, kind of hijacking this process. And the way that you do that is that you need to make sure the messages that you're communicating to your subconscious are the messages that would facilitate the kind of action that you want to exhibit. You know, like it's kind of like how you filter out your diet because you have certain body goals. You know, it's kind of like that. You know, you filter out your diet because you have certain body goals. So it's the same thing. You got to filter out what comes into your mind if you have certain goals that you want to achieve in life. You know what I mean? It's not just about eating or the gym. I'm talking about, you have certain financial goals, you have certain spiritual goals, you have certain goals in your relationships. You need to approach them with a certain mindset for each one. And it's not a one-size-fits-all thing. Each challenge that we face in our lives requires a different set of thoughts and a different set of influences and perceptions. You know, you can't go into every single, I mean, you can, but you may not get the best result if you go into every single event with the same attitude. You know, there's a time to be aggressive, and there's a time to be laid back. There's a time to be focused. There's a time to be on autopilot. There's a time for all these things. My basic point here, in a nutshell, is that by hijacking your subconscious, I'm not some kind of conscious guru. It's just something that I found that I want to share with other people. By hijacking your subconscious, reading materials that bring out the motivation in you, watching material that brings out the motivation in you, turning off the negative sources, distancing yourself from negative people or negative energy, it's really about moving yourself towards positive energy. And I'm not talking about just sitting around and thinking positive thoughts for a second and then that's it. This has to be a lifestyle. You have to wake up every single morning and you have to say, what am I going to do to motivate myself today? What am I going to do that's going to put me in the mindset to turn the switch on, to do what I got to do in this moment? That's what it's all about. It's like a conscious management of your emotions and a conscious management of your perception, which thus becomes a conscious management of your actions. And that brings into light you having as much control over your destiny as possible, because things happen to us. And you know what? To be able to counter the things that happen to us, we need to be able to influence what comes into our brains, because our brains are like computers that evolve with information over time. And it's like you basically get out of life what you put into it. You get out of your brain and out of your body what you put into it. And that's pretty much it. I know it sounds so cliche and it sounds so simple. I'm probably going to make more videos about this to get more specifics for some of you out there who are having trouble. But it's so important, you know, and more important than anything else I found is perseverance and just not quitting, not giving up, because eventually the universe is going to yield to your goals. You may not get the exact goal that you wanted. You may not get the exact result that you wanted, but you're going to get something very close that you'll be satisfied with. Trust me. I mean, you may think that you want A, and then you find out over the years of working and exhibiting other people that you really wanted B. You know, so You know, the most important thing is to keep going, keep persevering, keep pushing, keep influencing the universe through your emotions and through your subconscious, and eventually it's going to give way to something that you can be proud of and be happy with in your life. And that's it. Have a wonderful day, guys.